It's all kicking off with Marcus Rashford again. Another tweet has come out, so I'm going to give you my thoughts on that one. Welcome along to the show, everybody. We're also talking about the fact that Manchester United won't be able to do a full-on rebuild this summer because of financial restraints. I know what you're saying. Adam, you told us we could spend big last time. Well, I'm going to get into that and tell you why I think this is a little bit of a cover-up and a bit of protection as well. And things could still change in that department as well. But the main story, the one that everybody's talking about this morning, is opinions on Marcus Rashford. He's calling it abuse. What is abuse? What is criticism? How far can you take it? Where do you draw the line? When will it hit some players more than others? People's opinions are different. People take things differently. There's a lot to talk about and get involved in this. And I'll give you my thoughts on everything. You all know I've had a very strong opinion on Marcus Rashford. I just want to make this clear from the start. I stand by every single word that I say on Marcus Rashford. My opinion is built upon things that have been told to me, things that I know about Marcus Rashford behind the scenes that some people might not know as well. His performances on the pitch, the whole character and everything all together is what I build my opinion on Marcus Rashford. This incident that's happened, it's not so much an incident for me. I want to get into that. We'll get into the detail of that. Please give the video a like, guys, and hit that subscribe button if you are tuning in for the first time. We just call it straight on this channel. We say it as it is. We don't go around the houses. We don't bull. We don't fluff it up. We just tell you straight opinions, and that's what this channel is built on. Giving a voice back to the fans, not one person's opinion all of the time. This is why we do the content outside the ground. This is why we speak to people outside of the ground, even when it's not a match day. This is why we bring more opinions on than anybody else, and that is a fact. That's what this channel does. And people deserve an opinion. People deserve to have a say on this football team. The people that spend absolute fortunes watching Manchester United and get nothing back. And you know what? Sometimes they deserve a little bit of something back. And people having their say and talking about players, it's mainly through what happens on the pitch. It's attitudes. Like, let's not forget, there's a picture on the thumbnail here of Marcus Rashford doing the Birdie song and telling people to basically shut up criticising him. If he should have changed that line that he actually came out with, didn't he, in that interview? If you back me, good. If you don't, even better. If you back me, good. If you don't, it's abuse. Honestly, they're the only words that Marcus Rashford has said. So we've got to judge Marcus Rashford on what he said in that interview rather than anything else that comes out. First of all, the problem with Marcus Rashford, for me, and I'm going to be honest with this, and you can go back on my videos, and you can agree with me, you can disagree with me if you want, but the problem with Marcus Rashford is not Marcus Rashford. It's the entourage, the PR, and the people surrounding Marcus Rashford. He wouldn't have done that tweet the other night. That wasn't Marcus Rashford. That was someone else who was agreeing that people criticising Marcus Rashford, so someone else from Marcus Rashford's PR team, whether it's family member, whoever it is, who controls his social media account, that was someone replying to someone saying that this is abuse. So someone's opinion about Marcus Rashford getting abuse and not criticism, they have replied to because they said it was abuse. So they have taken it, Marcus Rashford's people have taken it to the next level. We don't know if Marcus Rashford thinks that's abuse. That's just the people around him that have replied in this tweet. So for me, that's not Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford's biggest problem is his form on the pitch. His attitude, his body language. It looks like he doesn't want to be there. This is what most fans live and work for. They live and work for the weekend to watch our team play football. So what they see, first and foremost, is the performance on the pitch. And when you see a man walking around that looks like he's got the world on his shoulders, giving it that to the fans, then coming out later and calling it and saying it's over-the-top criticism, it's abuse in an interview, which wasn't even done through the football club. That's how they build their opinions on Marcus Rashford. Football first, we don't like it. He looks like he can't be asked. Like, he's being paid a fortune. He's wearing that shirt. He's in a privileged position to walk out in front of thousands and thousands of fans, millions across the world, playing for Manchester United. That's where people build their criticism from. And when you see Marcus Rashford and the way he plays, that's where it starts. Then it's how the player reacts to that and how he comes back that everyone starts to go in on even more. And that's when you start to build up them characteristics of a player. That's when you start to build up whether you like this player or not. There's people at Manchester United, there's two players in particular at this football club that get double the abuse that Marcus Rashford gets. That's Harry Maguire and Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes came out yesterday talking about the criticism he gets from Manchester United. You can win 9 games in a row, but you lose 1 game and you get criticised. This is Manchester United. This is what you expect. I'll go out there with a broken hand and go out there and carry this team like I have been doing the last few weeks, scoring the goals that other players in the forward line should have been doing. That's Bruno Fernandes. That's our captain. Harry Maguire. Oh my God. When you want to look at abuse and take it away from criticism, look at Harry Maguire. Look. I know things that I have been told that certain other people that have overly criticised Harry Maguire. And you know what? I'm going to say this right now about Harry Maguire. Yep. This season, he has slapped me in my face and put me in my seat and told me where to go with my opinion about him. Last season, I thought, get him out of the football club. You all know what I said. You all know the criticism I gave to Harry Maguire. I thought it was fair. Sometimes it might have been over the top and I hold my hands up in the heat of the moment. This happens in football. But Harry Maguire knuckled down and proved everybody wrong, including me. Like, he's not the best centre-back in the world. He's not. But for what he was playing last season, how he's come on this season, he's took on dogs and dogs and dogs abuse every single week. And he's just come out, got on with it, and played football and turned everyone's heads. Like, he has literally scored 2 of the most important goals in Ten Hag's career at Manchester United over the last 2 weeks. Ten Hag could have been done and dusted, season over right now, if Harry Maguire didn't turn up and do, let's say, what Marcus Rashford should have been doing, scoring goals. That's not having a go at Marcus Rashford, but I'm thinking he's our leading goal scorer right now. He scored more goals than anyone else at the club who's in that squad. That's his job. He wasn't there the other night against Sheffield United. Harry Maguire stepped up. He's played his part. He's been good in defence, and he's actually chipped in with goals as well. So he has played a major part in Ten Hag staying this season. He's now become... He's gone from the man that everybody wanted out to the single most important defender at this football club right now, because he's the only one fit to play. And he's the only one that's really had a consistent level of performance this season. And that's after the absolute dog's abuse. And it is abuse on Harry Maguire, more so, I think, than what Marcus Rashford have. You look at Maguire, you look at Bruno Fernandes. I think this is where the disconnect is within our squad, and a big problem right now. There are levels for some and then there are levels for others. Some are treated differently than others, and I think this is where the fallouts come from. We've already heard about the issues with Dalot, Bruno and Højlund, and now they've had to just do this under the radar and get it sorted. And credit to them 3 players, they have done. We didn't hear nothing about it until it was all sorted out, but when Marcus Rashford's got a problem, the whole bleeding world knows about it. He cannot handle criticism of how bad he's playing. Like, I think right now he's just lashing out and blaming everybody, or his people are, like I said at the start, because he's out of the England team. He looks like he's going to be out of the Manchester United team if he doesn't shape up, because there are actually better players than him. There are issues with his contracts, and for people to call out fans having an opinion outside a game, and these are match-going fans that have spent thousands and thousands of pounds. People can watch the game on TV, they put their money in. But to come out and say, for instance, people like Babs who have given opinions right after a game, like, that is a passionate fan there that's just giving her opinion about Marcus Rashford. And you know what? A lot of people have agreed with Babs and what she said. That is just how everybody's feeling right now. It comes out of you as a football fan, especially on match days, and it's instant reaction. But everything that Babs said was bang on the money. It is. Like, it's all right to call Slabhead and everyone laugh about it. Everyone calls Chunk Berto Luke Shaw. Do you know what I mean? There's plenty of nicknames for players out there. There's plenty of names. I mean, the Belfast Bebe. Like, there's jokes around with every single player. Now, there's drawing the line between banter and abuse, and I understand that. Some players act differently and some take it more seriously. Like, but the thing is, with Marcus Rashford and his situation right now is his performances and his body language and his attitude speak volumes for the character of the man, and like how he is behaving right now on the pitch is what everyone is going in on. And then when he comes out, that's when people start getting angry. When he comes out and does like that interview, how dare you criticise me and my commitment to Manchester United? Well, when it looks like you don't want to run, when it looks like you don't want to put it in, when you're calling out the fans with hand gestures, when you're coming out and saying, look, if you back me, that's good. If you don't, even better. Well, if we're not backing you, then does that make you... what does better mean? Like, I don't understand that. I really don't, because the same people are going to be there week in, week out watching you in the stands at Old Trafford. He is ill-advised. I think he needs to have a long, hard look at the team around him, personally, Rashford. And I've said this before. I don't want to go on about it anymore in detail because you all know how I feel about this. Marcus Rashford is surrounded with people who are protecting him and telling him what to do. Like, I said this when the Belfast thing came up. Who in that entourage is saying to Marcus Rashford, let's go for another night. We'll be all right. We'll get away with it. Who is telling him that? Who did that response to that tweet last night? Like, all the criticism that's come out about his performance, how lazy he is, the videos that are out on social media about Marcus Rashford just dawdling around the pitch. Why is no one picking up on that from his entourage? Why, as soon as one account comes out and says it's abuse, have they jumped onto that? Because it sounds more severe and they want to make a point and they want to cover things up about how he's playing. No, we're not having it. And do you know what? In this instance today, I'm not even going to go in on Marcus Rashford on this one. I'm not. I think it's his people around him, and I think he is really, really ill-advised in how he acts off the pitch. And I think his form can be sorted out. Like, he just needs to kick up the arse. Like, he's a player that we know what he can produce, but the way he's reacted to the fans this season is why I want him out of the football club. Like, honestly, I think his time is done. And there's more on what's happening with the transfers. We're going to talk about this in a minute as well. But I think this is where we're at with Marcus Rashford right now because of everything that's passed. And then his team coming out and doing this. No one would have been talking about Marcus Rashford if they didn't respond to that abuse tweet. They're the ones, Marcus Rashford's team, who have kicked all of this off by responding to a tweet which had that abuse line in it and then making it bigger than what it actually is. Like, look at the form. Marcus Rashford, since we've come back from international duty, has played every game apart from the one last night. This is the one the other night against Sheffield United, sorry. And that was the one that we won. Yeah, it was Sheffield United and they're crap, but yeah, it was Brentford. It was Bournemouth. It was a poor Chelsea side. It was not that good of opposition in all of the games that we've played since international duty. So everyone is picking up on that, and that's why people were talking about it outside. It's like, it's nice to see a team play together, because everyone said it after the Sheffield United game. It looked like everyone was really working hard and together, and that's without Marcus Rashford in the side. You know what? Sometimes that criticism hurts, but that's the criticism that should actually sink into a player's head and go, I need to rectify this. I need to go out there and do something different. Otherwise, this is going to keep coming. It isn't nice. There are forms of abuse, but this isn't abuse. This isn't abuse. This is full-on hard criticism that people can't take. And everyone's got a right to an opinion, and United fans especially, and fans that spend thousands, like we are, and Sir Jim has said this in his interview, the fans own the football club. They're the stewards looking after it. So if the fans can't have their say, then the world has gone mad and football is dead. That's where it's at. I've got a couple of super chats I need to get to. First of all, before we get into any more of your comments, Mark Lambridge, cheers for the super chat. Before Adam goes into details, can I just point out that a player has the right to say, I got stuff going on. Can you take me out the team for a bit? That was before I did go into detail. Adam, your ex-employer is calling your fan cams a problem. I love the fan cams and best instant reaction from those of you who go to games. Keep it up. Thanks for that flash talk, Matt Lambridge. Thank you also for your super chat. Please get the likes coming in, guys. Let me know what you think. Get into the comment section. I want to know what you're thinking. I've gone on for long enough there. Just wanted to make a point about that. But in terms of people saying that the fans talking outside the ground are the problem. Really? Really, we're the problem? Okay, right. Not people actually watching the games at home. Like, they haven't got the same opinions. Like, for someone to shout out at a football stadium or shout at home some abusive at a player, then that is abuse. Like, it's the same thing. It doesn't matter if it's heat of the moment or not. It's still abuse. So that's a load of crap. Absolute dog shit, to be honest. So, yeah, fans having an opinion outside. Fans have been having an opinion for years. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have anything to do with it whatsoever. It doesn't. People on social media who are tweeting out the abuse constantly every single day, they're the ones that are the problem. Not people who are just having a say outside the gate, outside the ground about the game. Like, in the same sort of instance, like, people are actually saying, look, we're actually backing Ten Hag in all of this. Like, look at the abuse that Ten Hag's getting. Like, no one talked about that. Like, the first time that Rashford is out of the side and everyone's talking well about the manager, someone else has to find something negative about what people are saying outside the ground. No, not having it at all, and everyone deserves an opinion, and they'll keep on having opinions. It's the same thing as people sat in the pub, sat at home watching it, sat in the stadium watching it. These are the people that pay the money to watch Manchester United, whether it be from home, abroad, going to the game. Everyone spends a fortune watching this football club, and everyone deserves a say on it. It isn't the issue. The issue is the privileged, overpaid, arrogant players. Like, it's not all of the players. It's not. We just said then, like, look at what some players have done. For instance, I'm sorry, I'm going to come to the chat in a minute, but I just need to get all of everything off my chest that's been going on. Like, at weekend at Wembley, I was talking to a journalist who had a big fallout with Scott McTominay. And Scott McTominay had it out with him. They sat down, they aired everything out, everything is better, and the relationship is okay. But what Scott McTominay said was, like, look, what I used to do with abuse, how I used to deal with criticism was use it. So he would go on to Google, he would type in his name, he would look up all of the criticism around him as a footballer, everything, and he would use it. Like, go out there, use it to his advantage, fuel himself up and play better, make himself a better player. Everybody's different. Do you know what? I keep saying it. Like, Marcus Rashford, it's not him. It's the people around him. It's like, who advises him to do what he does? I don't understand that side of it. I really don't. I cannot get my head around how Marcus Rashford allows these people to do it. I cannot understand how the football club allow Marcus Rashford's people to advise him the way that they are. It's not fair on Rashford, and it's not fair on the fans. Like, because we're giving an opinion, and we don't know who's saying what behind the scenes for Marcus Rashford or telling him what. There's only one man that's going to get the critique, and that's the man himself, Marcus Rashford. No one else is going to go in on him. And no one else is going to go in on anyone else, sorry. It's all going to be on him. So he has to be the one that stands up and says, look, what is going wrong here? Why is this so bad? I just look at him and I just go, look, he's got to a stage now where he's believed his own hype. He believes in the people around him more than what the critics are saying and what the ex-pundits and experts are saying. And it's that old Manchester United bubble again, the protective bubble around players. It's not going to help him, and eventually it will end their careers at the football club. The fans' opinions are there because of what they see on the pitch. And what they see on the pitch is a player that doesn't look like he really cares. So we want to know detail as to what's going on. The next thing, that player comes out, does an interview, criticising people for criticising him. And then the fans fall out with it. It's like, what, we only wanted to know what was going on. Like, seriously, the disconnect from the fans to the players these days is the reason why all of this comes about, because no one knows what's going on. And then when the player comes out and you're like, here we go, we're going to find out what's happening now, and all he does is criticise you back, it just adds fuel to the fire. And that's when people's opinions start going south. Entourage, PR, God, footballers, modern day footballers, it's an absolute nightmare. It really is. When will these people realise these tweets do more damage? He's getting so much negative feedback on X for this. How does that help him? Like, people who say that fans' opinions are the problem for this, and people talking outside the stadium, people who say that, just look at what Marcus Rashford's people have done on Twitter instead. Look at the reactions from whoever runs Marcus Rashford's Twitter account. Look at the reactions to that, what he's done. Then tell me that it's not them causing the problem. Yeah, the response to that has been bigger and worse than anything that any fan said. Like, we supposed to stay stum? We supposed to just not have an opinion? Like, it is just full-on criticism about what's going on. That's what it is. And you know what? Some fans go over the top. They do. But this is because they're absolutely fed up with the same old spiel. And when a player, I think, in a way, Marcus Rashford has abused people. I mean, the hand gestures alone. Are we letting him get away with that? That's him saying, basically, you don't deserve to have a say. Shut up. You don't know what's going on. So we're like, oh, that's a bit harsh. Like, okay, but let's see what happens next. You scored your, what goal was it? Your second league goal, I think, of the season when you did that celebration. Like, thanks for that. But we would then go to the next stage, which is like, okay, there must be something more severe here. We're being put in our place by the player. We're being told to shut up as fans. Like, we're not supposed to say anything. And then he comes out and says what he says. It's like, okay, gloves are off. Like, F off, Rashford. Like, we're not taking that. It's like, fans moan when a player misses. Like, the abuse that players get on a game day is ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. And if you actually go to games and you listen in the stands, I'm not saying that simply because I go to the games, but for people to comment about what fans say in a stadium as not abuse, then, yeah, just stay away from it because you've got no idea and you probably never will. So let's leave that alone, shall we? Because the abuse that goes on in stadiums sometimes is, actually not sometimes, is always twice as bad as what it is online. It really is. You see people being turfed out of the stadium sometimes for just absolutely going in on players. You see fans fighting with each other in the stands because they don't agree with what the other person's saying. Like, that is abuse. No matter which way you say it, you can talk about passion and the heat of the moment. It's still abuse. So, yeah, that's twice as bad inside the stadium. Like, me, for one, as a fan, I don't boo. I've never booed in my life. I think booing is wrong, personally. I think at the end of the game, like, go outside, talk about it. Everyone have an opinion on it. Everyone talks about football. It's what we do as fans. Like, get behind the team while you're in the stadium. Get behind the team constantly. That's how I see it. And I always will. Like, I love watching United and I love getting behind the team. But, like, you can only talk about what you see after the game. And if you feel like you've been let down by a pretty poor, abject performance, then you're going to talk about it, aren't you? Just like you are when someone has a brilliant game. Like my remarks about Bruno Fernandes after the game the other night. Like, absolute hero for Manchester United. Brilliant. Captain's performance. When we win a game, when we lose a game, what are you going to do? Try and be positive. Like, you automatically go into the negative because we've seen a really bad performance. Anyway, yeah, need to move on from that. I'll get your comments in now. The only way we get rid of Rashford is if he runs down his contract and leaves on a free. No reputable club would touch him with a 10-foot pole. People around him, what is this? Hollywood? Yeah, it is to him, El Nando. It is, because they're the ones that are telling him what to do. That's facts. Like, I actually don't think Marcus Rashford, like, even if Rashford said, let's have another night out in Belfast, like, people around him should have said, look, no, mate, let's probably not. It's not good. Like, tell him no. Like, advise him. Who is advising him? Like, some people just don't see it. Like, some people are blinded by what they see with Premier League footballers. They really are. Same with England too. Every man and his dog knows he's a liability to the left back. Rashford thinks it's still peak BML times. The mandatory worship is over. Let's see what we got. Booing is okay. If these performances were happening in Italy or Spain, Brazil, etc., the players would be attacked at the training ground. Booing is the least of their worries. Yeah, no, I get what you say. Like, it's just giving my opinion, mate. Like, I don't do it. When I'm in the ground, I'll shout when something's bad. I always get behind the team, though. Like, everyone who's seen me watching a game, like, you know, I'm fully on the game. It's full on match day mode. passions are running high, but all we want is the best for the team. And you do get behind the team when you're in there. It's like fans who are watching it. Some fans are just like, oh, I can't even be bothered celebrating a goal. That's like, come on, seriously. When fans say you can't celebrate a win, or when fans are saying what you're celebrating for, it's only so-and-so, it's only this team, shut up. Like, talk about it afterwards, but at least celebrate it when you're in there. Do you know what I mean? Once Disney arrives, Marcus can cuddle with Mickey Mouse. Put him in the reserves. The Honest Tiger, you are a legend. I think we've got a donated membership there from Honest Tiger. We have. That's gone to Lee Dixon. Lee Dixon, former Arsenal back. Get your comments coming in, guys. Let's get into it. We won't be able to sell him in the summer with his performances on the pitch. Well, look, like reports that are coming out today, going on to the next bit about Manchester United, how much money we can actually spend. Like reports are from ESPN, Mark Ogden is saying that Manchester United's net spend this summer is around 100 million. We do need to sell a lot of players. Like, I cannot see Marcus Rashford being sold this summer. Like, nobody wants him. And the price that Manchester United have put on his head is unrealistic. Like it is with most clubs. I'm not just saying that because it's Rashford and we're talking about him and it's United and we're crapping the transfer market. But most clubs do put unrealistic price tags on their players, usually to protect him. Rashford's got a long contract to run. Who would want Marcus Rashford right now on them wages? Who can afford Marcus Rashford on them wages? And when you look at his performances, why would you want to bring him into your club? The only way Marcus Rashford turns his form around is playing for Manchester United right now. No one can take him, and no one, I don't think, is going to move on him in the summer. So he has to have a long, hard look at himself this summer, I think, Marcus Rashford. If he gets into the Euros, maybe he can do something in the Euros, and he is going to be, his price will go up and people will actually want to bring him in. I don't see it because I don't think he'll get much game time in the Euros because of his performances this season. And my opinion stays the same. I want Marcus Rashford sold. I think it's time for everyone to move on. I don't think he will, though. Because Manchester United are in no position right now to be getting rid of everyone and trying to replace all of these players. We're like in no position because we're not getting a lot of money. If Manchester United's net spend is what it is, I mean, it's ludicrous as it is. Like, you only have to look at the financial reports after everything that was released, and United could have bought in January. So the news to come out today that Manchester United's net spend is 100 million, then we're in a lot of trouble. We're in a lot of trouble. Because that means the likes of Marcus Rashford are going to have to stay because we need people in them positions. And then that means that we don't know what performances we're going to get from them players next season. Like, you go through the news and everything that's been said here. Victor Lindelof, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire all out of contract in 2025, could leave for suitable offers unless they're prepared to sign new contracts on reduced terms. So now we've got Manchester United doing the right thing, but too late, if you get what I mean. Like, these players here on reduced terms. Personally, straight out the box, like Harry Maguire, reduced terms, that would be what? Bringing him down under 100 grand a week. Like, he's on what, 190 now? Victor Lindelof, he's on 120 a week. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I think he is around about 95 or something like that, if I can remember right. The one who's getting stung in all of this is Scott McTominay. Like, the lad, like, literally takes all of the criticism from me. I'm not going to hide away from it. He takes all the criticism that he does, and he looks at all of these players that really are underperforming, not putting the right amount of effort in, and he's the one on the least amount of money at the football club. I mean, he is on peanuts compared to other players at Manchester United. When you look what Anthony's on, what Mason Mount's on, and all these other players, like, some of them are on 4 times as much as Scott McTominay, and he has given more this season to this team than I think they could ever give in 2 or 3 seasons, in the term of a contract, in fact, Scott McTominay. So for him to take a pay cut when he's on what, about, and don't take this as like me taking the mickey, but 60 grand a week, I think Scott McTominay's on, 60, 65, going off reports, is, compared to everyone else, absolutely ludicrous. It really is. Like, you can talk about Scott McTominay all you want, have an opinion on his game, but when it comes to Manchester United wages, that's low. That's very low. And he would have to take a pay cut when you've got the likes of Mason Mount sat there on the bench on $250,000 a week, and you've got to be taking a pay cut to stay at the club. Someone who's come through the academy and is sat there constantly on the bench waiting for his opportunity. And yeah, the quality of the player you can argue with all day long, but he gives everything. He gives absolutely everything to the shirt. He's a Manchester United lad through and through. And he's on that. Like Lindelof, I understand. Wan-Bissaka, he's not on that much either. Like, they are really dropping the wages down. Like, you can see on the bottom of your screen there, look, Martial and Varane are going to be leaving this summer for free. So we're not going to recoup any money at all from them two. So I don't know where Manchester United make the money up. I don't. There's going to be a lot of players leave, but like we said with Rashford, like we said with Sancho, like we said with Greenwood, these are your main value in Manchester United's squad if you wanted to try and recoup some money, but all come with massive, massive amounts of baggage. I just don't think United are in a position to demand the fees that we need to make up for not being in the Champions League. The wage packages are already going to be cut, so you can imagine like the players taking that 25% wage cut next season, and then we go into the back end of next season, these players all come up like, oh, you're going to have to take even less than that now. Like, this is where I think it's all going to come to a head this summer. There is just so much work to do and so many issues to sort out. I just don't think we are going to see it. Like, give it another 3 years on top of the end of next season, 4 or 5 years, we may start seeing something come. We may start seeing INEOS's plan come together. But right now, with the situation we're in, with the players, the finances, the wages, the contracts that these players are on, I mean, seriously, I just don't see it. We are 2 subscribers away from 43k. Come on, guys, share the video, like the video. Make sure that you are subscribing as well. Let's see if we can actually get to that 43k mark before the end of the show. That would be a nice little announcement to make just as we finish. I don't want to make like, I don't actually think this is a negative show in any way. I get criticised a lot for being overly negative. I don't think I am personally. I just say it as it is and people don't like it. The Rashford thing this morning, like I said, like, it's not his fault that someone did that tweet. I put it down to his PR, his entourage, whatever it is, and the people around him, the advisors, whatever. It's just caused another shitstorm. It has the player contract situation. It's all coming to a head. United are going to end up losing a lot of players for nothing. Are we going to be able to actually spend this summer like significantly? Like, there is no chance that Manchester United can have the INEOS rebuild on that amount of money. It's like, if you say, for instance, you have only got 100 million to spend, like, we can sell some players and boost that up a little bit. Can United raise another 100 million to at least get our spend upwards towards 200 million this summer? Because that's what I think is the minimum. We need at least 4 quality players coming into the first team this summer to start this rebuild and compete again. At least 4. And I'm not saying that, look, we need more. We need about 7 or 8. But 4 absolute quality signings that are going to come into the team. Never mind the squad, the team. Like, straight in, they're going to improve our first team instantly. That's what we need. Them 4 positions. Centre-back, centre-mid, centre-forward. I would say probably right-back right now with the amount that we've got at the club. Guys, we did just pass 43,000 subscribers. Big up, everybody. Massive, massive thank you to everyone for subscribing and being part of the channel. Really appreciate all of your support as always. 43k. On the road to 50, guys. Keep it going. Keep it going. Everyone, make sure you do like the video as well. Let's get that upwards. Let's get past the 150 mark. Loving all of your contributions into the chat. We go. Let's get your moment in now, guys. Adam, I don't feel the slightest bit of sorry for someone earning 60k a week. He's not worried about paying his mortgage, is he? Nope. It's true. S. Madison. Rashford massively overrated. He believes his own hype. Even Gordon ahead of him and in England on the left wing. I don't think he will be called for the Euros. Will be an interesting call, that. It really will, on what Southgate does. If United were winning games on a regular basis, it would be Adam Positive Channel. Yeah, we're not winning. Like, we're having our worst Premier League season ever, so what do you expect? Like, I tried to bring up good points and try and make it sound like we're on it. Realistic, not negativity, but it's say what you see and hear. Exactly, Stephanie, that's what it is. Ten Hag needs to take responsibility for continuing to play him. Is it Ten Hag that's really calling the shots with Rashford? Like, I asked this to Babs in the interview outside. You've got to think along the lines of something has been put in that contract for him to play, because he is the worst performer on the pitch right now, Rashford. Like, he is. For his stature, for the expectations, for the wages, for his position. Like, every other player in that team is doing better in their positions than what Marcus Rashford is in his. That's a fact. We have got players to replace Marcus Rashford. That's another fact. But we don't replace him. Why? That is a question I think that only Ten Hag can answer, but you are never going to get that answer out of him, because there's too much going on behind the scenes. There's too much politics in it. Guys, please make sure as well, in the description below, we have our podcast, our new podcast channel, me and Kaz United Couple. Go and watch episode 1. Episode 2 will be out on Monday. The first one is out on the channel now, though, guys. So please go over and watch the video, first of all, the first one. And do subscribe to the channel as well. All your love and support is much appreciated. And thank you so much for everyone who has watched it and left comments on it as well already. But yeah, it was a big one for Kaz. She feels more confident now having done the first one. So we're back again. Episode 2 is going to be out at 8 o'clock on Monday, guys. So make sure you do go and have a look. And make sure you give it a like. Like, you know what? Just go and watch it. Put a comment in. Let us know what you think. Adam. Say it how you feel. Having an opinion now means you're abusing players. I know, it's ridiculous. Absolute nonsense. They're ferocious. This is on the manager not dropping Rashford. He said he will continue to play Rashford until he finds form. Players need dropping for their own sake, not into scapegoating players. Point. Ten Hag did say that. Man United live in the past. Worst period was post-Busby era. Post-Ferguson era saw big leaps in a depressing league of tycoons. Stu says, congratulate me too. I'm feeling left out. Right. Sorry, that's people just trying to big themselves up in the chat. Liam Whitehouse, Ten Hag is partially responsible for Rashford abuse for picking him and bringing him in after Belfast. Yep. You can't behave like that, play shite and expect no backlash. Marcus Rashford needs to be sold, says Mark. Kaz, excellent. I can't wait for the next episode. Rashford is playing because the manager prefers him. It's 100% down to Eric, says Graham. If he prefers him, then he needs to come out and explain what he's trying to do and why Marcus Rashford, when everyone else can see he's underperforming, he is still picking him. Like, this is the point, isn't it, right now? So, in terms of Ten Hag on this one with Marcus, it's like if United go out in the summer and buy someone who is clearly better than Marcus Rashford, I don't think we're going to drop Garnacho. We're definitely not going to drop Rasmus Højlund. Then we will see. Like, if we go out and buy another forward, like, say, for instance, if Michael Olise comes in the summer, personally, that position for me is one that I wouldn't be going out of my way to go and bring a player in. Especially if the so-called net spend is 100 million and Olise is going to cost 60. Are you willing to spend, 2/3 of your budget in the summer on a player that we've already got players to come in and play? No. If you're going to buy a forward, you buy a centre-forward and you buy a good centre-forward. Honestly, I would. Priorities right now. Like, honestly, hand on. Like, if we had 100 million to spend and you had to go out and get a 40 million or 40 million is 60 million or 250 millions. I think we can get more because we can sell a few players and probably stretch that budget out. I think that's scraping the barrel. By the way, like, if PSR changes, then there's no excuse for United not to spend more money. I keep saying this, and I think there is a bit of a cover-up with financial fair play. It is real, and it is affecting United, that's true, but not to the extent as what they're making out. I think there's a ploy here in saying that Manchester United with INEOS are not going to be ripped off. So we're going in making these headlines, making it look like we haven't got that much to spend. I think that's a ploy from INEOS side of things at Manchester United. So I look at that and I'll go, yeah, I still think we can spend more than that, definitely. And we will. I'm confident that we will. But I think it has to be centre forward and it has to be centre back. We have to be able to play a higher line. Like, Harry Maguire has done great. I've praised him. I just think if we're going to change the way that we play, we need to have someone who's going to work hard up front instead of Marcus Rashford for it to work. And we need someone who can play further forward at centre-back. And we can play that higher line, push it together a little bit more and be a tighter unit. I'm missing out on the centre midfielder right there. I know I am. But if Casemiro goes, then I think that's where the other buy should be. Right down the spine of the team, Manchester United, then we'll have the likes of, I mean, you're looking good. Like a centre forward next to Rasmus, a midfielder next to Bruno and Mainu, and a centre back next to Camberwella and Martinez at the back, and Maguire to cover as well if he's not sold. Like, there's your spine of your team right there. That's already instantly making Manchester United better. So I think that's where we need to go with it, and I think that's where Manchester United would need to prioritise if them finances were true, which I don't think they will be. We'll get into more of the transfer side of things and the players and what we think is best for United in the later show when we're doing the preview and the look ahead to the game later on this evening. But guys, yeah, that is us pretty much finished. Thank you so much. There is a lot to get through there, guys. I'm probably going to need you guys to put your comments in the comment section after the video is finished. There's a lot to talk about and a lot to get through. A lot of opinions from people, and opinions are okay. Like, some people's opinions are that people talking outside of the football ground is wrong and is making things worse. I say, well, you're welcome to your opinion, but the way that the players are playing and the way that Manchester United are shaping on the pitch is probably the most single worst thing out of everything right now. They're the facts, aren't they? It all starts on the pitch, and everything that happens outside of that just adds insult to injury and makes the situation worse. It's how you react to everything that goes on off the pitch that makes the difference. But thank you, guys. Make sure you give the video a like on the way out. We are just creeping up to the 200 mark. So if you could just give the video a like as we finish, that would be fantastic. Thank you. And yeah, guys, that is us all done. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on your way out. And we'll see you later on this evening, everybody. Thank you so much. Enjoy your Friday. The weekend is here, everyone. Friday afternoon. Football is back. Burnley tomorrow. And we'll be going over that mainly tonight as well with a full look ahead to the game. And obviously, every other bit of news. 43,000 subscribers.